Hey everybody, welcome to day one activity for the 15-day personal financial overhaul. So, first thing we're going to do to get started is we need a vision. We need a mission statement. We need an understanding as to why are you even listening to this video in the first place? And why do you want to listen to the next 14? And the answer is because you're probably lost. If you're swimming in credit card debt, if you don't have retirement, if you're living on borrowed money, if you don't have any savings, if the idea of losing your job terrifies you because that means that you're only a couple of paychecks away from losing your house, you're with me. You're wandering lost in the financial desert, and we need to get out. And in order to get out, we need to have a direction. We need to know where we want to go. So as Lewis Carroll says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So let's stop wandering. We need a direction. We need a purpose. We need to know what we're aiming for. So everyone's journey is different, but most journeys are going to have a lot in common. So the first financial strategy, the first tactic today is to know where we want to go. And it may not be limited to just one thing. Don't just say, I want to be rich. I don't know what that means. To some people, I'm rich. To me, other people are rich. And I'm sure that if you've got a computer and you're listening to this video on YouTube and you have high-speed internet, that there's somebody else in this world who actually thinks you're rich. But you don't feel rich, or else you wouldn't still be watching. So, what do we want to do? What does rich mean? I don't know. So let's not make grand nebulous claims like that. Let's set some goals that are real and tangible and measurable, right? Maybe you want to get out of credit card debt. Maybe you want to pay off your house or perhaps even become a homeowner in the first place. Maybe it's time for you to drive something a little bit more reliable than the bucket of bolts that's going rattling down the street as you know when you drive by. And if you're like so many people in America, and it's tragic, Father Time is unforgiving. Retirement is coming, ready or not. You're older today than you were yesterday, like it or not. So you can stick your head in the ground like an ostrich, or you can face it head on like a champion and make yourself ready for anything that comes your way. That is our financial strategy for today. You have to know where you're going. You need a vision. So I want to share with you the story of Jim Carrey. Hopefully you recognize this guy. Very funny comedian, very talented actor. Jim Carrey, like so many other people that are highly successful today, came from very modest beginnings. If you take a look there, there's like a 1982 camper van pictured there. Because that's what Jim Carrey and his entire family were living out of when his father lost his job. He went from living in a camper van parked in a parking lot to being one of the most highly paid people in his field today. So there was a time in history, take a look at the other thing that's on that screen. Jim Carrey actually said, I am going to be an actor slash comedian. I am going to be great at it. And he literally wrote himself a check, dated it 10 years into the future, and made it payable to him in the amount of $10 million. This is a true story. You can Google it. And he put this check in his wallet. And every single day, it was his motivation to work harder, to be funnier, to hone his skills, to sharpen his axe and be the best he can be in his field. 10 years later, do you know what Jim Carrey was getting paid for every movie he was in? $10 million. So let the story of Jim Carrey tell you a couple of things. First of all, Big, big goals are reachable. It's not for other people to be successful. You can be successful too. And anytime you set a goal, it gives you something to work towards. And it gives you purpose, and it gives you a reason to act. Not wish, but act. So here is the day number one financial tactic activity for you. I want you to literally get a pen and pad of paper, and I want you to write down goals and a vision. And if you want to make it grand, like a $10 million paycheck, knock yourself out. But also, I want you to put down some measurable things, because we're dealing with human nature, right? If I give you an instrument and you never learn to play a song, how long are you going to still fart around with that instrument before you put it down and it starts collecting dust? But if I can start teaching you to play a couple of songs that other people recognize, you're going to want to keep playing. Well, guess what? Personal finance is no different. Investing is no different. Debt reduction is no different. As long as the human condition, as long as the human mind sees and feels progress, we can stay motivated. It's a flaw of human nature that we have to do this to ourselves, but it is what it is. So put down some big goals. And if you're listening to this and you're married, go grab your spouse or your significant other or your partner and let them make a list too. They don't have to match. They don't have to match at all. But I want you to create a goal or two or three or four or five. And I want some of them to be, pretty far out there. I want you to aim for the stars. We'll settle for the moon, but we're not going to stay here in the valley, right? And I also want you to put a few things down that are attainable so that you can reach a milestone and say, yeah, I've accomplished something. I am actually on a journey and making progress. I want you to put this list somewhere where you're going to see it. I mean, see it, like tape it or magnet it to the front of your refrigerator. I don't care what you got to do. Put it where you're going to see it every day. And please don't laugh. Don't turn off the video. Don't roll your eyes. This is real. When you actually take and you commit by action of writing your ideas and put them down on paper, they are no longer just ideas. You have given them substance. They are real. I can see them. Other people can see them. You'll be reminded of them every day, and it will motivate you. I promise you, it will motivate you. Even in moments of weakness, you'll look at it and go, yeah, I need to work on that. That was really a good idea. I have to get serious about that. So you may stumble, you may flutter, you may fall, but it is real and it will give you a mission for you to work towards. Make your list, think big, but also mix it in with some attainables and put it where you can see it. That's today's goal. Okay, now is the time to execute. There will be no changes to your life if you are not willing to act. Execute. Go get it done. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.